I was muted. Hey everybody, how's it going? I appreciate you so much for being here and hanging out with me again. How's it going? What is everybody up to? Hope you're having a wonderful day so far and hope everyone is having a good Sunday. All right, we're back in our normal setup here in my apartment. Feels good. We can get some more work done today. Yesterday we completed a small little bug fix on our visualization for our project, and we got that all sorted out. Today we're going to be learning about render.com and trying to get this project situated, I guess. We're going to add in one more feature to the project, download for the actual GIF. The thing is we need to figure out, we need to do some stuff. Right, we gotta figure out some stuff here. Let's open this up. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's get this loaded up here. Mike's home. Hello, Tim. What's going on, dude? How's it going, man? Thanks for coming in. We're gonna adjust this up a little bit, make it smaller, so we can use more screen space. I keep finding myself running out of screen space. We want to make this height. There we go. That's fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our. So let's talk to. Okay. Let's learn here. My goal. Say hello. I am back working on my TLC simulator, and my goal for today is to learn how to allow for downloads of the generated TLC plot, chroma plot, from the web page. I am unsure how to do this, given differing OS types of users. Can you teach me? You teach me, not do it for me. We'll say not do it for me. I want to learn and get better. All right. Went to Popeyes for dinner. You guys like Popeyes? What's your guys' favorite fast food out there? Or favorite dinner place? Is you could get it. And what if you guys like Popeyes? What do you guys get from Popeyes? What do you guys get? What's your order? What's your go-to? Welcome back. You're tackling a great feature, letting users download generated TLC chromatography plots from a web page is a solid full stack goal. Since you're using FastAPI backend with likely HTML and JavaScript frontend, here's how we'll break down the learning. Core concept. To allow downloads from a web page, your backend needs to serve a file, and your front end needs to trigger a download of that file when the user clicks something like a download button. Okay, I'm going to first, let's go ahead, before I get into this, let's go get status. Can I see the changes? Let me go here to my branch. It was fast. Add chroma block reset. The only thing I've changed here. Oh. At Popeyes, I like the popcorn shrimp and the bacon chicken sandwich. I've never had those before. No idea. Use your 50-inch TV as your monitor? I like to get the blackened chicken tenders. That's what I got today. I think they're pretty good. Okay. So... Hey Marty, how's it going, dude? Appreciate you for joining me here. How's it going again? Welcome in. Leave a like if you guys are in. Appreciate you here. Okay, so let's go here and go. What the hell is going on? Okay. Clean up. I'm not sure what that was. We'll just put it into cleanup and then. Okay, so now we're here. Now get status. Okay, now let me go here to hit this. Let's open up our live server. All right. So yesterday, you guys, we got last night. If you guys were on the late night stream, we got this plot here to now. If you guys will look at. Pay your attention to the screen. The plot will now shrink upon smaller viewports. Pretty nice, huh? Ah, pretty cool. I also bought the DNS chromaplot.com yesterday. So it's pretty cool. How do you guys like that? I wonder if there's like chromaplot.plot. That'd be cool. Okay. Chromaplot. Okay, so let's go. We have our download button now. We have our download button here. Okay, let's get back to our thing here. All right. To allow downloads from a web page, your backend needs to serve a file, and your front end needs to trigger a download of that file when the user clicks something like a, quote, download button. Your goals today: understand how FastAPI can return a file. Understand how to store or stream the file temporarily. Create a download link / button in the HTML that triggers it. Make sure it works across OS types. Okay. What kind of file are you generating? You're generating a plot, which is likely a PNG or a JPEG, or maybe a PDF. What's the format? This matters because it determines how you'll save it and what headers FastAPI needs to return. Basic questions are questions to get you thinking. Are you currently saving the TLC plot on disk or just showing it in memory using bytes.io? What file format are you aiming to let users download? Do you want the plot to delete after download? Do you want to offer a file name? So to answer your questions, I am insane progress. Nice, Marty. Glad you're enjoying here, dude. What you been working on, Marty? So to answer your questions, I am rendering the plot as a GIF and temp file, saving it using bytes.io. I am then serving that to the index, and JavaScript is parsing, I believe. I am not too sure, not exactly sure on the JavaScript behind it. I am really new to JavaScript. I also need to consider when this app is on the web for others to access live under my DNS chromaplot.com. We don't want multi-user conflicts. I am trying to learn these concepts and deal with them. You're saving the TLC plot as a GIF using bytes.io. This is good. It keeps things in memory and avoids cluttering disk storage. But here's the catch. You're right. You're probably serving the image directly by embedding it in the page, like via a base64 URI or data blob. To trigger a download, you need to create a route in FastAPI that returns the GIF with content disposition attachment. You need to trigger a download, and you need to create a route in FastAPI that returns the GIF with content disposition attachment, and then link to that route with a anchor download or a JavaScript handler. Concept 2, safe multi-user downloads. You're right to think about the concurrent users. If a user A and B both generate plots, they shouldn't download the same file or overwrite each other's data. Strategies, user-specific file names using UUID 4 or timestamps. Store plots in memory, bytes.io, and map them to users during session IDs or tokens. serve the file directly from the bytes I/O without saving to disk. Let's tackle this in order. Okay. I don't really want you to just do the code for me. I am learning the concepts and to code them as well by hand. Okay. Concept breakdown. For downloads from the web app, what's a content disposition? Why is this header necessary in a download route? What happens when a browser sees the route that returns an image? What's the difference between content disposition inline, content disposition attachment, file name, TLC, GIF? Think what happens when you don't see this header. So set this header. Okay, so it's going. Okay, let's not go so far ahead. Let's take this step by step and guide me using my code. You could avoid the download if you only send data via the API. That's what we're doing right now, I think. We're sending it as a buffer of bytes, right? And then the JSON is parsing the base 64 response or whatever. Okay, clarify your current workflow. Please walk me through your current backend to frontend framework with a few bullet points. Where does your FastAPI code? How is it saved or stored? Okay, let's get into this here. Okay, so this is app post submit form. So we'll say app. This is going to be. If you hit this button, what do you submit information to receive? Would the FastAPI response or FastAPI, what is it called? Be a post or get for this kind of response? Whether you use app get or app post depends on how you trigger the download, what kind of data is involved. If you're just serving a file to the download, use app get download. This works when the user just clicks the download button, linker button. No body or form data is needed, you're just returning a file. Example, the plot has already been generated and is available at a known path in memory. If you're generating the plot at the moment of download, use app.post download only if you're sending data in a request. So probably do get, okay. So get quote / download chroma plot, right? Yeah, I'm not sure how to build it on the front end. I only know Python. That's why we're doing it this way. Getting data validation, validating these data blocks was enough JavaScript for me. That's for sure. Down in this took me like an hour, just to do some simple for loops. In Python, it would have taken me like 5 minutes. Okay, so we get download chroma plot. Okay, so The thing is in our chroma plot generation, we're generating this plot with temp file, open temp file seek, and return the buffer on the generation of the plot. So yeah, I'm generating the file as a GIF. Then I'm opening it, reading it into buffer, and then closing my figure, and then returning the buffer to back to here. And so then what I'm doing is I'm getting all the values of the buffer, and then I'm encoding that. Well, I'm decoding it and then encoding it in base 64. And then I have it as base 64 image, and then I'm returning a JSON response of that base 64 image. Right? So then here I'm getting this. Oh, whoops. I'm awaiting this response, and then I'm getting the response using the JSON call on it to basically to parse the data, right? Then it's housed in here. Then I'm using that data to generate with JavaScript here. Hey, yeah, Izzy, what's going on? How you doing? So yeah, we are sending the data via JSON right now, and then we're using JavaScript to basically read the base 64 data off of the JSON response. Right? And then we override the source of the chroma plot. So then, now that I have this data, right? Interesting, hold on. I'm currently using JavaScript to await the response plot in JSON for image, and then for base 64 image, and then generating the plot and override the image element, right? Because I have the element. Hold on. No, maybe not. I'm just going to serve the bytes IO object. So then if I go yes, but I don't want you to do it. Coach me. Coach mode it is. Let's move forward with wiring up the get route yourself. Create a get/download and FastAPI that serves your plot. Where is your bytes IO plot object stored? Is it a global variable? Is it attached to a user session? Is it returned immediately after generation? Only ask one queue at a time. I am not storing it. I am just delivering it from memory, and then it is gone on the next generation. That's a good clean start. If the plot lives in memory and disappears after each generation, how can the download route out access it after it's generated? What options do you have for making the most recent bytes IO object available for the download route? I need to save the object, the bytes IO object, into server memory tied to the user session somehow within a user plots directory. Yeah. I can't get the CS2 opened up. It doesn't work on Mac, dude. I tried. I wasted like 100 gigs of download on that. That's why I almost ran out last month. Since FastAPI doesn't have the built-in user sessions like Flask, you might uniquely identify each user's generated plot so that the download route knows which one to serve. Think about tokens, UIDs, or query parameters. I have never worked with any of those before. You don't need a full session management. You only need a way to tag each plot uniquely so the browser can say, hey server, I want to download my plot, not someone else's. So here's the next question. What if every time a plot is generated, you create a UUID, a random unique string like voila, and save that plot to the user plot's UUID.gif? So that the UID in the front, return that UID to the front end, then the browser links to the download UID and grabs that specific plot. Would that solve your download issue? Why or why not? Almost running out of Wi-Fi is crazy. First world problems, right? I know the free internet, almost running out of free internet. Just crazy. Isn't that like the biggest scam you ever heard, huh, Tim? It's just data caps are just such scams, dude. It's like I currently have like 600 download and something upload, and with Xfinity, and I was looking at AT&T Fiber, and it's a little bit cheaper, but it's 300 upload, and I'm not sure about the download, but I think it's like not even really like compatible to relate the two. It's like apples and oranges, like because it's comparing fiber to cable. Xfinity runs through the cable line, right? Whereas fiber runs through, the ground, taps in the fiber cables. So I'm wondering if the 300 is like, somewhat in the same ballpark. Let's go ahead and try it. Why not? Let's go step by step, allowing me to write the code. Don't move ahead without me, and don't go too far. Great, let's dive in. Create a UUID for each plot. First, let's make sure we generate a unique identifier, a UUID, when the plot is created. Where in your code is the plot being generated? How would you add a UUID right after the plot is generated? You can do this with Python's built-in UUID module. Okay, so let's go to our main.py. We have base64 here. We're going to import UUID. Okay. Go ahead and try adding the UID creation to the part of your code where the plot is generated. So I'm going to go here and go Python UUID module. Okay, let's see here. This module provides immutable UUID objects and functions UUID 1, 3, 4, and 5 for generating 1, 3, 4, and 5 UUIDs as specified in RCF 4122. If all you want is a unique ID, you should probably call UUID 1 or UUID 4. Note that UUID 1 may compromise privacy since it creates UUID containing the computer's network address. UUID 4 creates a random UUID. Depending on the support from the underlying platform, UUID 1 may not return a safe UUID. A safe UUID is one which is generated using synchronization methods that ensure no two processes can be obtained the same UUID. All instances of a UUID have an safe attribute which relays an information about the UUID safety using this enumeration. Create a class UUID.UUID. Create a UUID from either a string of 32 hexadecimal digits or a string of 16 bytes in big endian order as the bytes argument, a string of the 16 bytes in little endian order as the bytes LE argument, a tuple of 6 integers, 32 time low or 16 time low. For example, all these expressions yield the same UID, so you can plug in. So hyphens don't really matter where they're at. You can give the specific bytes or the hexadecimals. Okay. Exactly 1 hex bytes LE fields or ints must be given. Variant is safe, get node. So the UUID 1, generate a UUID from a host ID, sequence number, and the current time frame. If node is not given, get node is used to obtain the hardware's address. If clock sequence is given, it is used as the sequence number, otherwise a random 14-bit sequence number is chosen. Okay. So I was reading the Python UUID docs and and I think I should go with UUID.UUID1 to get ref of the user's network specific. Nice job checking the docs and good instincts. Yes, UUID gives the time-based UUID. I'll just say user ID. That includes a host's MAC address if available, which ties it a bit more to the machine. But let's pause and think this through. Why UUID might not be ideal? Okay, the MAC address part doesn't help with identifying different users on your server, especially since users across your app via HTTP not directly from your local network or access via. It could intentionally leak info. Okay, so it just wants to be random. Okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this. So we'll generate using the UUID4 function. We're going to, so let's first go into our, TLC simulator. Let's open up a new directory and call this user. I think my dog farted. It stinks, man. Oh, my eyes are burning. That stinks, you stinky dog. You still farting? You farted, huh? Did you fart? Did you fart? That's so funny. Oh, sorry, I missed your chat on Twitch here, Kevin. Stop, bro. Kevin, bro, stop. Seeing as you have a background in biochem and are currently learning how to program in Python, you seem very well educated. Do you have any tips or advice for an 18-year-old about to graduate high school in a couple of months? Hey, dude, Kevin, how's it going? Welcome, dude. My name's Mike. I appreciate it's good to meet you. Yeah, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Maybe I can, help give at least my perspective on college and what I thought about it. What are you interested in? What are some of your hobbies, and are you very social? What kind of college are you thinking about going to? Just let me know more about you, Kevin. Thanks for coming in, dude. Oh, dude, it stinks. It smells so bad. She's looking at me all guilty. She knows she farted. Yeah, we're trying to create unique IDs here. Unique IDs, because we're trying to tie these two users, right? So user plots here. So we'll go here and we generate the chroma plot here. And then we have the buffer here. And then we have the base 64 image that we're getting. So upon generation of the plot, right, we're also going to generate a unique ID for chroma plot. So we're going to go unique plot ID is equal to UUID dot UUID 4 to generate a random UUID, and then we're going to convert that to a string. Cool. Okay. Okay, I have added in the UUID part upon right before generation of the plot. I provided you a little more context regarding how I am serving the plot. Alright, you've inserted the UID generation in the right spot. Now you have a plot ID tied to plot render. Save the plot to disk. Now you want to save the image bytes, so this guy here. the image bytes to a file like userplots/plotid.gif. So the next question for you, how would you write those image bytes to a GIF file using the open and a binary write mode? Go ahead and give it a shot. Just make sure you create the user plots directory first if it doesn't already exist, and save the plots as plotid.gif. Okay. So we generate the image byte here. So this here is going to be the generate the chroma plot. Right? And so now what we're going to do is we're going to say with open, what do we have to pass to open? The path, right? The file. Or path. So I'll copy we'll go path here to user plots. Oh. Copy path. Or copy relative path. With open user plots in the mode. So I'm gonna look up, let's look up here, the open. So binary mode, updating or reading and writing. So binary plus. So we're going to add this into binary plus mode. So can we open up a directory? Can you use the open, the with open to open a dir? Good question. That is a subtle one. No, you cannot use it with open to open a directory, and that's what only works for files. If you need to ensure the user plots directory exists before, you should use that. This creates the folder if it doesn't already exist. Use OS make dirs to ensure the folder exists. Then use the with open user plots plugin. Your next move, use the OS make dirs to ensure the folder exists. Then you use user plot / to write binary. Okay, that's what we're missing here. So we don't want to open up user plots here, and we want to do it as with an f string, right, as the plot ID .give, and then we want to write it in binary mode, write binary, and then use this as file, right? We open it as file. We write it. Try that. Let me know when it's working. Download plot route. So what I want to put this into there. Plot ID and give. With open user plots plot id.gif, write binary as file. Would I then put file into here? Okay. So this is what it looks like now. I am unsure though if I should be inserting file into the base 64 image encoding or the image bytes. Files on the file on disk. You already had the image in bytes in memory as image bytes. That's what you want to encode into base 64. So with your with open, you should save the file. So you should save as file. Okay, so I forgot we need to write the file into there. So file dot write. And we want to write. What do we want to write? We want to write image bytes onto there as this ID, right? And then we'll take this and bring those back out. That'll automate with the with constructor will close the file automatically, and then we will return the image bytes encoding decode here and return that. So we want to return image, and there's a content image, base 64 image, quote, plot ID. Oh, so we want to give it another JSON content dictionary here as plot ID, right, is going to be synced to plot ID. Got you. Okay, I get it now. How does that look? We had to open the file, creating it with the unique ID as the name, then write the bytes using write binary mode. You're creating a unique file name with plot ID, writing a raw image bytes to that file using write binary mode, returning the base 64 image for display and the plot ID for download. So now we're returning this reference here so we can get access to it on our page response here. So this JSON response, this thing here, this form data, this response here will contain the information. So if they hit the download button, we can query the response from this download submit button and then pull that specific plot ID. Okay, I'm getting this now. Okay, sorry, I'm messing some chats here. Farting is better than dropping a load in the hallway. Yeah, my thank goodness, she's really well trained. I've had her. She's honestly my best friend. Sky, come here. I've had her since right when I first started college. I got her as a puppy and I trained her up myself. A lot of hours in training as a puppy. Come here. Let's get you up on camera. Let's see if you want to be a streamer today. Ah, there you go. With those there you go. She was we threw the ball yesterday at the park, so she's a little sore. She's moving a little bit slow today. Muscles are sore. Hey Defender, how's it going? Where are you following this project? This is my project. I've been making it all on my own, or with obviously with the almighty orb here to help me learn. But the code is my own here. Hey, Prayesh, how's it going? It's good to see you learning this consistently. Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate you and that kind message. Thank you so much for joining me and appreciate you. What you been working on? Hey Bailey, what's going on? Welcome back in. I think she knows Python but doesn't want to pay taxes. What? What do you... I think she knows Python but doesn't want to pay taxes. What? What? What is Marty going off about? Okay. Let's get caught up on some chats here. You're trying to create unique ideas, something a good challenge. You're coming across stateful/stateless paradigms. Can you give me some more? What's that mean? Stateful/stateless paradigms. Can you explain that? Kevin says, I'd say I'm pretty social and I have a good amount of friends. I want to go into community college because it's cheaper. In my sophomore year, I don't really set myself up for success in terms of behavior and grades. Oh, I want to go into community college because it's cheaper, and my sophomore year, I didn't really set myself up for success in terms of behavior and grades. But my teachers really pestered me because I was somewhat academically gifted and had a knack for math. I'm also recently won an award for competing in an engineering thing, and I think I want to go into that field, like electrical engineering. For hobbies, I really like playing single-player video games mostly. I like grappling sports, wrestling, judo. I did 3 years in high school, but stopped because I couldn't handle it in school anymore. Judo class this summer. Okay, cool. That's it. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, I have for the episode new. My name's Michael. I'm 26. I got a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company as my 9 to 5 job, and then I teach myself Python every day afterwards. So I really appreciate you guys joining me and being here and hanging out with me. And so just to give you some reference, I went to community college for about a year and a half. I left a little bit early to go to a four-year university, and I was dual enrolled at the four university and the community college at the same time, just to finish up the last couple of classes and to start because they kind of overlapped at the same time. I was lucky enough to have my calculus professor send my tests over to my transfer university's testing center so I could take those exams and get the credit for those courses because there was nothing online at that point in time. It was, online stuff was pretty rare. At the beginning of my beginning of college, and then it really started to ramp up towards the middle part of my college. It just boomed out of nowhere, huge online college presence. But obviously because of COVID. But I went to 2 years of community college. I saved a ton of money. I graduated college with zero debt. I highly advise people to take this route. There's a lot of programs, a lot of state-sponsored programs to get people to be college educated. So, taxpayers will, front the bill for a lot of some community colleges' tuitions and programs along those lines. And then, we can, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so for example, I had a few, colleagues from high school that I knew, quite a few, that went to large four-year institutions right out of school that didn't really know what they wanted to do. And because of the pressure of the school, of the social pressures, the rigor of the courses, and then not knowing what they wanted to do, and also taking out vast sums of debt, not knowing what they actually wanted to do, it caused them like a lot of mental anguish, and a lot of them struggled, with mental health, physical health, and ended up dropping out and going on other paths. I think it's a huge wake up call, especially so I really think that, community college is a great opportunity to really get your feet in the water and, test it out and see if it's for you. At least if college is for you in general. College, isn't for everybody, and there's other options out there like trades and whatnot, and self-teaching and programming and things like that. But obviously, there's stigma with having a degree, and so it was like that's kind of the benefits of having the degrees. You kind of bypass those stigmas and get some immediate kind of whatever you would call it, for lack of a better word. But yeah, I did that route. I really enjoyed it. I would do that again. Yeah, I do kind of regret not having the big social scenes, but I'm not a super social guy. I sit in my room and stream and learn how to code and do math every day. So, take that with what it's worth. Um, a big part of college is you are kind of paying to grow up, and kind of paying to rapidly learn how to grow up. No, that's kind of one of my beliefs, is that you kind of pay to speed run the adult process, learn how to, like, you're really forced to just get thrown in to learn and do things on your own. Um, at least if you want to. Obviously, you can have like helicopter parents and whatnot, but yeah, if you know, just yeah, it sounds like you got some things going on with community college and stuff. I did not realize how easy it was to cross the browser at this time to take down. Huh. Okay. You created a plot, to write binary mode, returning the bytes, the base 64 image for display, and the plot ID for download. This part is now complete. Now the server has saved a version of the plot that's uniquely tied to each request. Next step. Let's create a get route at download plot ID before we jump in. What do you think this route should return so that the browser can treat it like a downloadable file and the correct GIF is served from the disk? Hint, FastAPI's helper called file response. We would use the file response to return the file. We would need to use the Frontend plot ID JSON information to send to the server to get that plot. You connected all the key IDs. Your file response to serve the GIF file from disk. The plot ID sent in the original JSON to request the file from the front end. Your turn. Try setting up a FastAPI route. Method get with the path of download plot ID. Use the file response to serve the file at user's plots at this. Let me know when you've written it. Okay, let's try. Let's go ahead and try. If we fail, we fail. So we want to have get download, and this is going to do download slash plot ID. So how do I pass in response model default, citrus status code, tags, sequence depend, summary description, response description, successful response? I'm gonna see what it says about that. Okay, so let's try this. Stateless, this is when a server doesn't need to hold a record of each connection made to it. Stateful is when the server holds a record of the connections being made for some time. In your case, the challenge is to map each process get back to the request to download it. Yes, exactly. Hey, how's it going, Vinay? Welcome. Okay. So if we want to do this, we want to say def download chroma plot, right? So I want to do JSON response and then file response. So this is class response, HTML response. So this will be class response response class equals to file response. So we want to download chromoplot given the plot ID. We just have to tie the name, right? That's what we did earlier. We tied the name, compound descriptions. That's what we tied. So in our index HTML, let's give the download button. No, we don't need to give that a name. So do download chroma plot, and then we would say, so we need to open and try to get the plot from dir. So we would receive the plot ID. Given a plot ID. So how could I get this plot ID back? So in the JavaScript, so after we generate this plot, right? After we generate the plot, we need to here allow for download of plot, right? So we want to do document dot get element by ID. We want to get the ID of the button, which is the download chromoplot button. Right, we want to put that there. We want to do add an event listener here, where we want to look for the the type. Is there a download type? E, F, G, B, C, D. No, so let's just say submit, I guess. And then we want to say function event. Function. So open up the function. So we submit. We have a function. How does the rate at which your the colors travel get calculated? That's just based on the user input. So based upon our thing, the user inputs an RF, and that is just a factor, basically a percentage speed at which it travels in relation to the solvent here. So I'm not actually generating like a velocity of the individual compounds in frames. I haven't quite figured out how to manipulate the timings of these individual like frames per second generated of these plots in Matplotlib. So I'm currently just letting it do its default thing. I'm only generating 100 frames though to have like a 0 to 100% kind of mimic. And so these are just traveling at a factor of that leading rate here, right? So that's why there's that initial delay before these are displayed as this initially as it starts to go up. Yeah. Hey Edwards, how's it going? Braden, let's welcome in, dude. Welcome back. Okay, so this function here is going to be so we have response, we have data, right? We want to send data back. Okay, send the plot. Okay, let's think. So we want to try and get the plot from the directory. So with open, we want to open user plots / plot ID dot gif as plot file user plot file, and then we wanted to say hey, thanks for the follow, Kevin Bro. Stop. Appreciate you so much. my like stream just like cut off there for some reason. Just like restarted. Did it restart for you on Twitch? Whoever's on there? Okay. So we want to open up the plot as user plot in read mode. We want to then to serve that file. So then we're going to, no, if it's not there. So we'll say this, try and open this, except for file not found, error. We want to return none. So we want to file response to serve. So if we get this, try and open as so we'll say this goes here, you say here like that, and then we say return file response user plot file. Return, can I return like a none file response? Path like stir. So file name, background tasks, media type. So file response, status code, media type equals GIF. Background, file name equals to plot id dot gif. So let me see what I'm not sure. So let's try this. Let's see what it says. Okay, I am not so sure on this. I did my best with what I know. You did great grading the structure in place. You're very close and clearly understand the purpose of the route. Let's walk through and polish it up once more. The first issue, plot ID is a path parameter, but your function doesn't accept it. So FastAPI doesn't know how to pass plot ID into the download chroma plot. So to update the function def download chroma plot, yeah, we have to pass the plot. That's what I meant. So plot ID stir. You're opening the file manually, but file response can do that for you. You can pass the file path string directly with file response. No need to call open. Oh, okay. back to that. I'll say that my file path is this string, right? And then call this path equals to. You're calling file not found like a function should just be the class, except file not found error. Yeah, right. Okay, so now let's take that and see what it says. Return file response to your path. Your image GIF and image GIF. Image GIF. Okay, turn that. Once you make that change, go ahead and start the server, generate a plot, grab the plot ID from the JSON, visit this in the browser. Okay, so let's see if we can do that now. So now that we're generating those plots in our file paths, let's try that. Okay, let's relaunch this. Okay. You guys think it's gonna work? Let's find out. Okay, ready? Test 1.9. Test 2. Ooh. Test 2. Test 3. Test 4. Test 5. 0.6, 0.2, 0.4, 0.5. Run the simulation. Load in that chroma plot. Finished. There it is. I thought I had some spacing on here. When does it shrink over? There, which is like 1200 pixels. Maybe right there. 2000 pixels. There. How do I tell what that point is? I want to do it 1100. Almost. A little like 1200. There we go. Oh no, so now it's too much. Now it has 1150. Is there a way to find, like, just find the when this flex box? What? When does a flex box? It's almost there. So 1155. $11.60. Let me go the other way. 1140. $11.45. 1146. And 47. There we go. 1147 is our magic number. Jeez. There it is. So now the spacing will, that's our snap point, 1147 pixels. So now I'll make this, I have a 20 pixel gap. There we go. So now the gap will, now the gap is there at any point. What if I make this rather than 20? What if I make this like 2%? So it kind of scales evenly. There we go. I'm gonna add some padding on the right side of this guy here. So on the compound entry, margin right is 5 pixels. Instead of this, I'm gonna add padding right as like 50 pixels. Now if I refresh that, maybe it is margin rate. So that run simulation button is still hitting. Oh, so maybe the button is its own thing, right? Did I move it outside? So let's go to our index. Content section sub, content section right, content section. So we need to access the content section left then, rather. Sorry. So let's go here, not the compound entries. Those are these here. So let's go. If I make this 500, and I did that. Compound entry, which should be this guy here. Oh, it's these individual things. So let me back this up. Okay, so now let me say, here we go. So we'll do dot content section left, right, which is in our index for the ID, content section left. Right, what we're going to do is put in here and say that the margin right %. That's great. So now that won't get as close. Now that is off, or how that is. Hey Martin, how's it going? REMs. Oh yeah, I was learning about REMs the other day. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's go ahead and get out of that. That's fine. It's okay. Alright, so our styling, and then what I'll do is... So now what happens is if I get into that, it just snaps as soon as it touches and it goes lower. Okay, that's fine for right now. The styling's not as important right now. We just need to keep going on the download here. So you're saying I can use a flex box for the content section? So if I say flex box, here. Do I have to give parameters or something? So then if I comment out the media query you said, you seen your coding, where's my heart? I know the feeling too, it's insanely high sometimes. You press command plus shift plus I, it brings up the dev tools. There's a little mobile and tablet sign on the left that you can change the width, and your CSS query kicks in. It also tells you the media width in pixels without that whole thing. Oh, okay. And if I go shift command R here, yeah, that doesn't do it. So we'll keep that as is and keep that as flex. Okay, so now if we go here and go inspect, go here, we drag this layout. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, see, that looks really good on mobile. I like that a lot. It looks clean. Maybe a little bit more spacing here between the graph, like on the pixel change. So right, we have it changing at, so currently it snaps at 1147 like we talked about. And then it, yeah, so let's just do a little bit more spacing on that snappage. Let's do here, margin top on the media query, let's say 5%. There we go, now I have some more spacing there. Boom. Nice. I was thinking more about the media query. It's kind of hard to explain, but with FlexWrap, you could get that same effect. Once the thing shrinks it too much, it'll wrap. Yeah, so that's what I had to add that in, but my image itself wasn't shrinking. So I had to add in some customization for when to shrink the image on resizing, right? It was like bleeding out, as you saw when I deleted that. Like it was bleeding out to the right over here. And so now I have it'll auto shrink in relation here, which is nice. We did this one yesterday. I really didn't get these media queries, but now they kind of make more sense, and I better understand what the whole pixel is and everything. Okay, so then let's go back to our main task here. We're getting distracted. We're getting distracted, guys. Hey, Blitzenkill, how's it going? Hey, Ditto GM, how's it going? I appreciate you. Hey, Julio, welcome. Hey, Zach, how's it going, dude? Appreciate those for being here. My name is Michael. I'm 26 years old. I got a degree in human bio and a minor in chemistry. I was an undergraduate teaching fellow for the chemistry department at my college. I was also a laboratory instructor for the undergraduates. I was the only undergraduate laboratory instructor with all the other graduate students. I really wanted that job, so I went to the professor and said, please let me do that. Let me help out. And I got it. So, anyways, but I work as a formulation chemist for my 9 to 5 job, and I've been teaching myself how to code every single day for the past like 6 months. But I started learning about 11 months ago. I started with Harvard CS50P, and then I moved on to personal projects and reading out of Python Crash Course, Fluent Python, data structures and algorithms in Python. Um, we're going to get into Python machine learning soon. I got a Discord link down below in the YouTube description, as well as my Twitch profile, where you can get access to a complete roadmap for free of all my stuff. And I have all my stuff in there for my open source projects that I currently have accessible to my viewers here. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So go check all that stuff out. Yeah, I was trying those overflow hiddens, but it wasn't really working because it was like the image itself was like, so now we're saying max width is 100% of the pixel of the frame size, so it automatically will shrink down. So what if instead of accessing the chroma plot here, can we just access the chroma plot and say it fills 100% of the div, even if the div shrinks? We not even need this media query. Can I just take this and go here and then put this there? What happens if I then comment? We're getting distracted, I know you guys, but we're learning. And then if I go here, Shift Command R now. Get out of here. Didn't even need that the whole time. Nice. So now, I mean, we can keep that query that media query if we want to have that now it's just forced to have that spacing no matter what at the top. But it's okay. It doesn't really impact anything. It's still within these. Right. So it's kind of to each their own, I guess. I'm not sure. We can have it either way. If we want to have that spacing at the start no matter what, because I think this might actually shift down our graph. If I go like this and I give this a well, then maybe I should access the, what happens if I say like 50% here, like really exaggerate it? That everything comes to chroma plot, and that comes down too. Oh, because this is in a content section div itself, so it's impacted as well. It's an apparent div, because I have a content section and then I have a content section left, content section right. So maybe having it wrapped in the overarching content section wasn't a great idea, because then you have to deal with. Interesting. There's a lot of different approaches you can do with the styling and inheritance and stuff. It's kind of difficult. I haven't pushed this one public yet, though. This one's not public yet. Mr. Martin. Okay, so now this is our next task here. So we want to, go ahead and start the server, generate a plot, and then visit the local host in the browser and see what happens next. Grab the plot ID from JSON. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go here into our, let's go here and give print plot ID. Right, so we'll print that to the terminal so we can get access of it. So let's go Shift Command R here. Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5, 0.9, 0.8, 0.6, 0.3, 0.1, 2, that's fine. Run the simulation. Now we're loading the chroma plot. Where is my terminal? Where's my output to spit this out? So here, let me go inspect console source. Oh, let me do console log. Yeah, let's console log rather than print here in the Python terminal. So let's go here into the here, and let's go here on this form data. We want to console.log. This is the response we got back. So let's go console.log data, right? So then we'll go ahead and refresh this. Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5, 0.9, 0.6, 0.5, 0.2, 0.1. Run the simulation. Okay, there it is. Oh, there's our, I guess we could have got the ideas there. We're generating them in the plots, right? So if we go inspect console. Okay, here's our plot ID we generated. So let's take this plot ID. And then we're going to go ahead and it wants us to visit download slash plot ID in the browser. And now we get a download. Of just a ton of all the frames. Oh, cool. Okay. So this is the byte data individual of each frame. Cool. Yes, the file does download, but it downloads the sequence of frame images from the byte images. Can I have it download the GIF instead? If it's downloading a sequence of frames of the GIF file, you strongly suggest use issues upstream in how the GIF was generated and written to disk. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. We have, let's go to our chroma plot. We're calling plot.safe. Because in my JSON, I'm plot.savefig buffer. It just uses Python's temp file. So in my generate chroma plot. any save writer pillow. Okay, I'm using any.save writer pillow. You're using any save writer pillow, so you're working with matplotlib animation, saving it as a GIF via the pillow writer. That's exactly the right setup. By default, if you don't expressly pass a file name or file like object to the any save, it might write to disk a temp file. Format GIF. So we add the format GIF here. Let's go test one. Run that simulation. Uh-oh. Switch. Internal server is not valid JSON. So if I just remove this. That works. But as soon as I generate a format GIF, it errors. Just by adding this, it fails. That causes I'm gonna give it this here and say when I add in the format equals quote GIF to the and to the save, it causes my page to catch You're correctly saving a temp file, then loading the bytes into memory. That does produce a proper GIF, and that's why the file download works, even though we had the frame issue before. Because when you pass file name it to the save file, the format is inferred from the file extension. You don't need to explicitly format GIF. But if you instead pass buffer instead, you need to call them to tell the format. So then if I open this file, I get the GIF. Oh, it is a GIF. So then if I go, let's say I go to the file here, and I open up this, oh, never mind, it is a GIF. My Mac previewer is showing the frames. How can I get it to GIF? The file is iValue, and right-click the GIF file, choose Open with Safari, and it'll do it. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. Nice. Okay, so now we need to link this to the download button. Apple things. There will be no Mac slander on the channel. I love my MacBook. Best laptop I've ever owned so far. I've got the M3 Pro MacBook Pro, the upgraded threads and cores with 36 gigabytes of RAM. It's a beast. Love this MacBook. I'm yet to hear a fan on it ever. Intel MacBooks. Yeah, so yeah, I couldn't find the Python error that was being thrown by this here. It's probably coming in here somewhere. It's taking over my terminal though. I'm not sure how to get like a secondary terminal so I can see the errors being thrown. Oh, it's here, right here. This was the error being thrown right here. Yeah, I didn't like it right here. This is it. Animation function, expected keyword format. It was here the whole time. Okay, never mind. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. M3 is legit, minus verified. Yeah, the M3 is great, dude. I love this. This is one of the best CPUs, one of the best Mac laptops in general I've ever had, and the functionality with FaceTime, Apple integration on the iPhone. Dude, it's so good. There's some quirks with the bugs and everything on it, but there's a couple bugs, but it's okay. It's pretty good for what it's worth. I stream on here in 4K. I edit all my videos. I multi-stream and code at the same time, watch videos, and it does it all, and it stays relatively cool. It's pretty cool to the touch right now. It's just a blue room temperature, and not even a fan on right now. It's pretty nice. I'm using its camera. I'm using the MacBook camera and microphone, so it's out of the box. You can stream with this thing, like no joke. Like everything on it. So the AI insinuated that the method takes a format parameter. Yeah, it did. So it tried. It was wrong, right? Because it was inferring. But it wasn't wrong because it didn't know the context of what my write was doing. I'm writing the actual. Oh, come on. I'm writing the image dot. Here, where is it? Sorry. Where are you? Am I tripping? Oh, it's in my ChromaPlot class. Yeah, so I'm writing the file.name, so it's inferring by GIF. It's saying GIF. Oh, it has a GIF. I don't need to give the type here, whatever. Just the preview was rendering it as frames rather than. Yeah, we can blame macOS on that one. Why am I GIF a bunch of photos? Why am I GIF photo? Yeah, that's funny. What's the next project, Mike? Marty, you're already bored of this one? We built this one in like less than a couple of weeks. We built the actual plot algorithm in like one a day and a half. So it's been like 2 weeks just trying to get it onto the web here. We built the plot in Python really fast. I can build stuff in Python pretty quick, just like ideas I have. Like I can write cool scripts up to generate these types of things and do what pretty quickly in like one or two coding sessions of like 2.5 hours each. But the web stuff has been quite the learning curve so far. Okay, so now we just need to sync this up. Okay, here we go. Would you like to test your download flow now from the browser, or talk about cleaning up those GIF files after the time delay or session ends? Yes, let's go ahead and sync. And sync up my download button. All right, here we go, boys. So we're gonna get this download button. You guys, oh, it's kind of hard to see here. I have a download button over here. Oh shoot, right here, below the graph here. So that's gonna be what we're gonna try to do here. Let me go ahead and move the chat to the. No, because I want to keep it like that. I'm going to keep the file browser open, and I'm going to move chat to the left so we can see things a little bit better here. Yeah. Sure. Guys, I have a question. Where can I learn Python shortly? Because I have an exam in 8 days and I need a short, fast videos that can help me. Any tips? Ooh, yeah. Yo, honestly, if you have if you have an hour, watch my Python crash course series so far. Me solving the just going over and resolving the try it yourself practice problems for you guys as demos on the channel. They're very, very simple problems, and I break them down very simple and just break them down and solve them live for you guys, and it'll give you a very, very quick overview of some basic functionality of Python with loops, variables, functions, and stuff that I've done so far. I think I've completed all the ones. I've completed all of the problems when I first read through the book like 7 months ago. But I'm going back through and posting and recording solutions for you guys, and then so I think I've recorded up through like midway through chapter 4. Yeah, GPT quiz is also a pretty good one. Okay. What's it doing here? Okay, so verify my endpoint here. So this is my endpoint. Return file name. Yeah. Just broke it up like that. Now JavaScript and HTML step by step. Does your frontend already receive plot ID in the JSON response after the user submits the plot? Okay. I think I can do this one without the help. Let's try it. So this is what we're doing. We are setting up a document get element by ID, the download chromoplot button. We're adding an event listener for a submit event, right, for this function. So then do we need to go to this button and add in a type equal to submit and say this is ID equals to that? right? So this type is a submit. And then in this function, we're going to get the plot ID is equal to the data dot plot ID, right? And then we're going to I'm going to take that and throw this in. Okay. So here is my attempt at this. What do you think? The submit event only triggers on a form or not on a button. You make me want click instead. Oh, shoot. Click. Okay, then type is going to be... I guess you don't need to type on the button here. It's by default click. Right, do I have it on the other one as click? For that button, works on a form. Oh, okay, but that's the event type. On the event of click, you download. You are referencing, but data isn't in the scope of that function. Assume you already fetched download plot, then in your JavaScript. Data.plot ID is the data object returned by the original fetch and await response to generate the plot. So we already contain the info on the page. Instead of getting the plot data inside of a submit handler, just attach a click event listener to your button download and use that data you've already received. This is what it says, okay. Response, fetch, generate, post, form data. Oh, here. Element ID, click, function. Window.location.href. Listener. So we pretty much have it. So here we just need to say on the click, we just do this part here, window.location .href. What does this location do? Equals to quote or backtick download or backtick download slash money sign for the format download backtick close. So I'm going to give it my whole JavaScript here. Hey, how's it going, Bavlov? Why not just use anchor tags? Does that work? What do you mean anchor tags? I know anchor tags, right? We can put in hyperlinks, whatever, hrefs, but will it download? Oh no, it'll take you to the plot. And then you can save as, right? And then it'll go to that path. Oh. Wait, so if I just use anchor tag instead, I don't need to link a button click event. I just need to update the anchor tag for each plot region. Use an anchor tag and set this href to the correct download URL. Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical to use the Copilot because I don't want it to write the code for me a lot of the time. Window.location.href does the same thing in this context. It would act as an anchor tag. Oh. So what do you think we should do better? Have an anchor tag or a button? And here's the approach. In your download, you have the button, wrapped in the anchor tag. And you get element ID. And then you update the download link. Plus data.image. What does the plus data.image do? This is building a data URI and a way to embed. Oh, it's just dynamically doing it. Right, rather than putting in here, it's just adding it onto the string. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Okay, so let's try that then. Let's say so then here we have this button. Okay, so then let me say, I think it's done though. I think we have it working here, so let's see. Let's say test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.1, 0.6. Run. Now it's reloading the chroma plot. Finished. Now let me download it. Oh, no way. Cool. Yo. Windsurf is what I've been using. I like it a lot. Is that a type of AI that you like to use to learn? Yeah, AI Lab Live. Go ahead and throw those in the Discord for reference in the community resources section. I can reference those after the stream here. Okay, so what do you guys think we should do? So now it's linking to these plots. Sometimes the issue with general software engineering is that when you go to a front end, they have a tendency to overlook the capabilities of the browser out of the box. Nice, learning fast. We be learning fast, Alex. We learn quick here. Okay, so now we're downloading those plots to files. So now what we need to do is when a user... So, okay, whatever. Say, no worries. I will keep as is for the click event. Oh, my dog farted again. Why do you keep farting? What did you eat? What did you eat? Okay, so great. Now the download button works great. I just need to clean up the old plot. I want to overwrite the plot that the user previously generated. If you want each user to overwrite the previous plot, so that changes, how would you know each file? So the question is, right now you're doing this on each request, right? We're generating a random user ID per plot. If that changes every time, how would you know which file to overwrite? How can you tie a stable plot ID to a user across multiple requests? Think about cookies, session tokens, or generating a user ID once per session and reusing it. Let's do the once per session, right? I think that's probably easiest. What is the more standard method? Is tying user session request. Okay, so it wants us to do it through cookies. Store session data in memory with a dictionary. Simpler, good for testing. Or it's dangerous for managing cookies. FastAPI sessions. Okay, install the required package. You need to install FastAPI sessions. This package depends on it's dangerous under the hood. We have a lot of session logic into user handling. So currently, the server manager would have to manually delete plots to preserve memory. Yes, as it stands, your server is saving each generated plot and user plots, and nothing is automatically cleaning them up. So over time, your disk will accumulate GIF files, and you'll need to manually or automatically delete a way to delete them. Overwrite the file if the user already has one plot. Oh, that sounds like a lot. Set an expiration timer and run a scheduled cleanup. That's what I was thinking. Like, what about like once a week we clean up? Ah! Yeah, what's your trick, Mr. Imba? If you guys are new here, make sure to sub along. We're on the pushing for 2K. Hopefully by this end of this week we can hit 2K. That's my goal. So by next Sunday we're at 2K, and we'll do a little. I got to figure out how, but I want to do like a CS:GO case opening session. Like we'll do like 20 cases or something. When a user lands on the path, you generate a user ID and do a 301 redirect to the user to the path with the ID session. Then the browser can just extract the query parameter. Oh. So right now what I'm doing is I'm generating the plot through the chroma plot generation, or the user ID through the chroma plot generation. Right here, right after they generate a chroma plot. But instead, you're saying that I should generate an ID upon visitation of this, and then forward that to a page, to a response page, which will be my index HTML with a reference of that user ID session. Yeah, this is getting a little bit advanced. My web dev skills are severely lacking. Web dev's hard, dude. There's just a lot of like... No, it's definitely a good idea. It definitely sounds like something that's very useful. So I wonder, hold on. What if I... So I have to go get that plot. Can I send? Can I send the plot ID? Or send the... Can I just send the plot? To serve the initial plot, I am just sending the image via a JSON. Could I not just send this back to the download endpoint and avoid file saving all to disk? You can absolutely avoid saving to disk if you're willing to keep the plot in memory during the session and serve it from there. Here's the key insight. You're already sending the data per session storage, right? So that would break the uniqueness of each plot and multi-user use. Exactly, you're spot on. If you just use a global dict keyed by plot ID or something like the last plot, you'd risk user collision. Okay, so this is what we'll do for now. Is I guess I'll just manually clean these up. Now, how much data will these accumulate if I don't clean them after each use? What is the typical size of a GIF? 1 megabyte per GIF. So 1,000 would be 1 gig. So if the user presses download, so if they download, we can add in a basically a thing here to delete that file after the download. But after the generation, if they leave without downloading it, it'll never get downloaded. But if they leave the site, but if they want to download it again, then you won't be able to. If they press it twice, it'll fail. I'll put the link to my deep research project in your Discord. I promise it'll give you mad inspiration. Nice, dude. Yeah, I'll take a peek. You're starting to touch into state management stuff. Don't worry if it gets too overwhelming. Like as a professional, some days I used to spend a few days having to think. 0 in total input, 0 green marks on my contribution history. Yeah, I have those days too where I'm like, it really like, feels like, oh man, I haven't like coded in a few days, but it kind of takes a few, like when I was kind of coming up with this project, I really took a couple days of like just thinking about like, what do I want to make and how do I want to structure it? I was thinking about all the different ways I could go about it, what kind of libraries I wanted to use. I was really like pre-planning everything in my head like 2 or 3 days in advance. And then when I finally sat down, I was able to kind of move pretty quick. Like I was able to generate this algorithm for developing these plots within that one session. And I think that I test it to that pre-baked planning. And I have that approach in my current job, which I really think helps me in my current path of, I've already received a promotion into like a mid-level scientist after only 3 years of working professionally as a chemist. I lead large scale, like our most advanced large scale products. I coach and train junior chemists. So like, and it's because I'm every day like on my way to work and then even after work, I'm really thinking about in the back end of my mind. I don't know why I think I'm just crazy or something about like what I have to do tomorrow or the next day and like planning it out so that when it comes to there, it's just like second nature and it's just like boom, like I there's no thinking about what I need to do that day. It's just action. And then when problems arise, I'm able to like adapt because I've already planned like ahead of rather than, it's that's a skill is transferable. Yeah, definitely. I think STEM has, physical science background coming into this, having, proper like hypotheses and method and whatnot, it definitely translates into like your problem solving mindset here. Okay, so cool guys, look, this is what we got. Okay, so if I go like this, let's say this is gonna be the Eyimba, EIYMBA, and he'll have a point, let's say 7.6 RF. We'll have Mr. AI Lab have a compound of, let's say he's this doesn't have anything to do with just random numbers, 0.48. We'll say Mike has point 1.6. Who else? Braden. Okay, here we go. Braden is going to do a number, let's say he's 0.61. And then we need one more. Alex is the next person I've seen. Alex. Ooh. And the compound's going to be point, let's say 8, 1. Or 8, 6. No, we already went 8, 7. Okay, let's run that simulation. We're loading the chroma plot. There it is. Woohoo! Nice. Okay, and there it goes, and there it finishes, and it finishes up. Boom. And now we'll download the GIF. There it goes. Let's go open, file, open. Open in Safari. And there's our GIF. Woo-hoo-hoo! Good session today, boys. Good session today. Mr. Mike, look at poor little compound Mike. Look at that, dude. That's so cool. So now we're getting those sessions. Or those plots. Oh, wow. That's so awesome. I really like this. This is so cool. This is probably one of my favorite projects I've made so far. It's probably one of my more simple ones, but simple in terms of like there's not that much going on, but it's advanced for what is going on. Like a lot of like downloads and plot generations and front and back end stuff. It's simple, but there's a lot under the hood. Nice. That looks so good. What do you guys think? What do you guys like about it? Anything you guys think I should add, change? What do you guys like about it? Quote, simple. Yeah, right. That's the I watched this Primogen. Is it called Primogen? I don't even know what his name is. It's like whatever. I was watching one of his React videos of Healthy Gamer. Is it Dr. K? I can't remember. But he was like talking about the NBA circle jerk. I was dying laughing about that because it's so true. And that's what the NBA circle jerk would say. Be like, come on, it's just a simple chromatography simulator. It's just a couple of entry boxes and a graph here. Like, just whip it up and put it together. Like, there should be a couple story points, two features or something right there. I like the real-time updates to the image, man. Yeah, that's something I wanted. I wanted it to reload. That's something I wanted to learn. I wanted it to await the response and reload the generated image over the top of the current one, rather than just opening a new tab, right? I felt that was kind of like the cop-out way of doing it. It's just opening a new tab and just saying, okay, it's just there, rather than saying everything is just here in a one-stop shop. One-stop shop. All right, this looks awesome. Let's go ahead and push this up. Add, we'll say, user plots, directory user plots, linked to UUID specific plot download. Plot GIF download. All right. Cool. So, all right. So now we're on our So now I'm gonna go git checkout dev, and then we're gonna go git merge cool. So now git status. Now I'll say git. How once I merge feature into dev branch, how to delete feature branch. So branch, so say git branch. Let's make sure I'm on dev. So if I say git checkout this guy, nothing changes from dev. Okay, so git checkout dev. So git branch this guy. So we deleted that branch, and then we're gonna delete git push origin delete on a space. So that push. So my dev branch is now up to date. Git checkout that. There is no branch there. It's deleted. So now if I go to GitHub and go to my TLC project simulator and go to my dev branch, user plots is there with all my generated with those plots. Sweet. And my other branch got deleted out. Perfect. Cleaned up. Is there an overall log of deleted branches, etc.? Local deleted branches. Git does not maintain a permanent log of deleted branches, but the branch was recently deleted commits might still be in the ref log. You can sometimes recover deleted branch and find the commit it pointed to. Okay. Math books are the worst at this. They have terms like obviously and clearly, simply. Yeah. Simply the function square root of x divided by 4 times the log base 2 of bruh, what? If you check my project, oh sorry, when are you going to start doing machine learning? Brayden, I think it might be next up, my friend. It might be next up. I wanted to, after I completed this project, kind of start diving into machine learning and more math-based subjects like linear algebra, discrete mathematics, calculus, Calc 2, 3, all that kind of stuff. So right here, Mr. Brayden, it's coming up here soon. But I feel like I started a bunch of books on the channel, but I feel bad because I haven't finished them. Like data structures and algorithms in Python, we're on like chapter 11 out of like 17. So it's like we're almost done, but it's just so dense that it's really hard to make some progress on. Same with Fluent Python. It's just really dense that it's like we're on page 100 out of 800, and it's really slow. Okay, so now in my folder here, I'm on git status. I'm on my dev branch. So if I go to my UV corn here, open this up. Now we go, let's just say test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.5, 0.1. Run simulation. We should get a plot here. There it is. There's our plot. And we can download it. Yes! Looks so cool! That's so awesome. So awesome. Why do I keep exiting out? I didn't expect to see this under my recommendation as a computer science grad. Hello there. Hey, Mohammed, how's it going? Thanks for coming in, dude. My name's Michael. I'm 26. I got a degree in human bio and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company. I make biological controls that test for like really advanced analytical ranges and precise analytical ranges of like proteins and things like that, enzymes on like big analyzer machines. And I build the solutions that you would test on those to run like patient samples against for controls, and in like very large vats, like 4,000 liters sometimes, and so it's quite the project sometimes. And I've been teaching myself how to code after my job for the past like 10 months, 11 months now. I've been doing everyday sessions for like 5 or 6. It's been quite the journey so far. We've come a really long way. This is our chromatography project. So we just finished the project, basically. It's done. Woo! We just need to publish it to a like render.com so we can have a full stack like server to run this and host this site for us. So the user can enter in compound names, RF values, right? Within 0 to 1, and then generate chroma plots, like basic general chemistry chromatography plots. If you've ever taken a general chemistry course back in like college or high school, right, you would plot these compounds on the x-axis and dip the overall mobile or solid phase into a solvent, and then the mobile phase would commence and would commence the solvent dragging these compounds up through the medium through capillary pressures and whatnot, or capillary forces to and some electromagnetic forces from polarity and whatnot, as these compounds interact with the medium and also with the solvent to travel up at a various speed, which is calculated in the lab per the experiment as the retention factor, but we are just predetermining it here to run the actual simulation. But the chemist, the goal of the overall lab is to calculate the RF values for these compounds and identify like an unknown based upon a similar RF within like a 10% range or something like that for error. And so this does accurately. And now we've added the feature in. Today we added the feature of the download. So now you can successfully download from the server, the backend, the actual GIF itself for viewing these. So if I go ahead and load this up, open with Safari, there is our GIF. Really cool. Really, really cool. Super proud of this one. This was an awesome project. Yo, we got a $1 from Mr. Muhammad. Thank you. Woo, ooh, ooh, Mr. Muhammad. Hey, let's go. Wait, hold on. Let's let me go back to that other. What were we playing before this? Hold on. Here, this guy here. This is for Muhammad. Muhammad with the chat. 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 Nice. That was funny. Back to the jazz. Smooth. You like jazz, Muhammad? Thank you so much for the $1, Mohammed. You're an awesome guy. I appreciate you so much for joining me here. Thank you. Truly awesome for the support. Glad to see someone that is not just going into web development side, simulation engines, and much more. I wish you the best of luck for it. You're kind of hitting that. kind of hitting that. Muhammad in the chat. Muhammad in the chat. That was funny. Oh, we got the gifs. Those are funny. So, Mike, when are you going to simulate AlphaFold with AI next? That's what we got to do, right? We got to simulate protein folding, like alpha and beta pleated sheets. That'd be so cool, right? I have to do some research on like what kind of forces and what kind of like mathematics we would have to do to actually compute the magnitude of those forces and how they would interact based upon the electron interactions and whatnot of those compounds and bond strengths. But it would be really really interesting to do like maybe like hydrogen bond interactions or beta pleated sheets, alpha the alpha helices. If I remember back from my genetics and courses from college. Possible, but right now you got to learn it all because you don't know what direction AI development will go. There's so many competing tech. I am about to move to Calgary for Master Science in Computer Science because my fam's up there. So excited to go there. Currently working with Android development and embedded systems home labbing as a hobbyist. Dude, yes, I wanted to get into home labbing. We were talking about it in my Discord, link down below in the description. We were talking about that and potentially maybe doing a segment on the stream about setting up like a home lab and trying it out and seeing that. But I might have to find a situation where I get on an internet without data limits. I might exceed my data cap, or maybe find some better energy providers. I don't know. That's super awesome, dude. I've been really contemplating maybe going back for a post back in computer science or like even masters in computer science. If I was going to do that, I would have to really kick it up into gear and get into like really get my math going and get into data structures and algorithms and really get up into those so I can stay at the level of some of the CS graduates themselves. My work offers a tuition reimbursement for a small amount that I've been considering maybe taking advantage of through like an online program, but I just don't have a ton of time. Like I come after work and I would have to do like stream me doing my homework basically. Like I would have, that's what it would be. I'm 26. I work as a chemist. I'm about to build a NAS server for my home just to get rid of Dropbox Google Drive using a Raspberry Pi. Dude, I was literally just looking at some YouTube videos about Raspberry Pi stuff. I wanted to try it out and really go for it, but it's just seems like such a steep learning curve. I was like, oh my gosh, looking up at the hill I have to climb. I just turned 25 this August 1st. I turned 25 this August 1st. Hey, sweet dude. You're 2000s baby then. You just missed the mark of the 90s babies. I'm a 99. That's a cool birthday to have though at the beginning of the generational mark, whatever, at 2000. That's a cool birthday to have. Nice, dude. All right, you guys. So we've got that working now. We've got it success. So we've got the download working, and we've got our graph will scale appropriately for smaller devices. So everything works really really cool. So now tomorrow our goal will be to getting this working for. We're gonna research render.com. I made an account and I bought the DNS through Cloudflare. I bought the DNS of chromaplot.com. So we are going to use that DNS to host at whatever as our route for and then use render.com to host our backend and front end here, and we'll see what we can do. So I'm really excited. So be sure to tune back in tomorrow. I stream every single day after my job. The weekends are a little bit different times, but I stream every single day around 7 p.m. PST. I live on the west coast of the United States. I and so yeah, so we'll get into that tomorrow. I do leak code. I've solved about 55 leak code problems. I read books live on stream. We're currently watching the Corey Schaefer series on pandas. So we'll start that back up tomorrow. We're on video number 4 out of like 10, I believe. So we'll keep watching those pandas, a video a day at the beginning of the beginning of the stream to keep going. You guys can access my notes on my GitHub and everything. I have I actually don't think I've put in my pandas notes onto GitHub yet. So I've been following along him with his Jupyter notebooks here, taking notes for pandas, and it's really, honestly, it's pretty easy so far. It's very intuitive, and it's pretty similar to SQL, but just using Python, methods and stuff to do it rather than SQL queries. So honestly, it doesn't seem too hard from what I've been given so far for the first 4 episodes up through indexing and whatnot. So so make sure you guys tune back in for that in the future. I'm a 99 too. Hey, let's go. That's much closer to the 2000s than the 90s. Yeah, basically like round up, right? You calling me a fraud, 90s baby, Muhammad? What are you trying to say, Muhammad? I'm like in the category. I guess I'm kind of like on the cusp. I can put my feet in both pools. This is the last term of my Bachelor of Science. I'm working towards an accelerated master's, so I have taken courses in my undergrad. I have 1 year left in my master's, then I'm done. Dude, that's awesome, Braden. Congrats, man. We have a couple other Canadians that usually come into the chat, like Mahan. Who else was it? What's his name? He's from Australia, and then he lives in Canada right now as a dev, and he comes into the chat quite often. Jake? Who's Jake? So you might want to be sure to link with them. I think Mahan goes to the University of Toronto. He hasn't been in a couple days. I wonder where he's been at. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me here and hanging out. We were successfully able to get our chroma plots to have a download feature where we queried the server for the specific plot ID. So it was much more difficult than just adding in a download button and just giving that plot back, right? We had to actually figure out a way to generate unique identifiers for these plot names. So using the Python's UUID and the UUID function number 4 to generate a unique ID per plot generation, and then we're saving those in the user plots directory. And then upon the endpoint for the download button, we are just opening that plot with the JSON response that was given back to us via the information here. So we're doing the data plot ID here from the actual response of the which is saved in this data here. So everything looks pretty good. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Have a good one. I'll be coming on the stream. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Muhammad. Thanks so much for coming in. Hey, after 1 hour, I have to give paper. What you mean? I have to study strings, loops, arrays, and pointer in 1 hour C language. How can I do it? Ooh. C language in 1 hour? Ooh, good luck. Sorry, dude. I would take a stab at the first couple episodes of CS50X. Honestly. Put it on 2 times speed and pray. What's my time zone? PST, Pacific Standard Time, US, West Coast. So 7 p.m. It's currently 9:55 p.m. for me. 10 p.m. right now. So I stream every single day around 7 p.m. Once I get off work and walk the dog and get something to eat, I hop on stream. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. We were successful in adding these features to our project today. So a super good session. This wraps up the entire front and back end of our project. I'm super excited to get this tomorrow. We're going to research on render.com for hosting this using render.com and hosting our front end and back end and delivering this and I already bought the chromaplot.com DNS, so super um, excited for that. So be back tomorrow to see that feature. And then what I'll be doing after that is I will be opening this up to the community. So I'll be posting and I'll be making my repo on GitHub public for this code base, and then allowing you guys to submit pull requests if you guys would like to contribute and add in features to be featured on the site. This is going to be a live working front end and back end site, so I think it'll be pretty cool. I also have that option available to you guys to contribute to my small business manager, which was my full Python to Kinter application I built about, a couple weeks, about a month ago, live on the stream. So we built that full application, which has a complete to Kinter graphics user interface, all in Python, where we read user data from a database using SQL. Or we have inventory, expenses, and transactions. We can transact those inventory items as returns and sales, and then we can generate automatically income statements and balance sheets per basic double entry accounting, which is really awesome. So for that project, I got some help from my dad, who's a CPA, a certified public accountant. Got his input on some of the accounting math I needed to do, and we built that one up, and it's really cool. I got a demo live on my channel of that project if you want to check it out right now. That was my CS50X final project, and it's open for the community version, where we actually did take a pull request. I believe it was Don Soap, he from the channel, he submitted a really nice pull request to automatically update or have the file path be synced to the user per their operating system, rather than having to automatically insert it into the code base themselves. Why don't you give me a shout out? Hey DRM Codes, how's it going? Anyways, that's it for my ramble. Please subscribe and like the stream if you guys enjoyed here. We're pushing towards 2K subs by the end of the week. Hopefully next week we can be there, next Sunday. Please join my Discord, link down below, where you can get a roadmap of my entire journey, or it's in my Twitch bio. You can, it's completely free. I have tons of resources, books, courses, everything that I've taken linked in there for you guys. All my notes provided to you guys, 100% authentic for you guys. I really try to be authentic. So thank you guys so much for being here and joining me. I will see you guys later. Bye, guys. Have a good night.